Morning. How y'all doing? Out here in the honey house this morning, where I want to give you a little bit of a rundown. We always do in-hive inspections. Just want to give you a little bit of a rundown today on what we're doing and how we're doing it. We always look at the hives, and we don't tell you the whole story behind what we're doing here and how we're doing it. But we're getting ready to extract honey. I've been cleaning the tanks are all clean. I've got the Hilco 18 frame extractor there, and got my bottling tank. It's all cleaned out over on this side, and in the process of buying some more jars. I've got several hives. The hives are building up really super quick this year, but we'll go out there and look at them and kind of give you a little walk around and talk about where we're at. We're in the process of building up, trying to get up to 100 hives, and we'll show you what we're doing and how we're doing it. Stay tuned. All right, we got our jars, our plastic jars are ready to go. It's our wax melter, holding tank, extractor, uncapping tank, 2 more holding tanks, got our buckets ready. We still need to get some more of them cleaned up. And then we've been washing all of our equipment. So getting it ready. We've got an empty spot here. We'll set some supers and stack them up. And then our bottling tank, and then our honey tables over here. We do keep a AC unit, and then it's got heat on it, but I bought this. I didn't want it running, that one unit running the whole year, so I bought a little heater and put in here. And it helps keep things warm during the wintertime if I need it to be out here and be in it. So we're trying, like I say, to get up to 100 hives. We've got some equipment out here. We've been selling some stuff we bought from a beekeeper in eastern Kentucky. We're a little bit south of Louisville here, and we're having a really good year. This has been a good year for honey so far. A lot of people are talking, is it going to hold up? Is it going to last? What's going to happen? We'll see. We had probably about a 3-week dearth right in the middle of honey flow last year. I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again. Just got this done yesterday. It's our beekeeping trailer. I had hives. I was using it for a hive stand, and it was just kind of going to waste, so floor had rotted out. So I put new tires on it yesterday, put a new deck on it, and I put some LED lights. That worked really good. Seem to always have a problem getting the LED lights to work. I need to peel I guess I still got the sticker on there. And then I got the wiring all wired up where everything works good. This is a good heavy tubular steel trailer. I need to get some tie downs on here. I would like to do that, so we'll see about that. My holding tank, some more stuff for sale, and some junk I need to get taken off. And they got the mini mating nukes back here. I need to still need to graft some queens. I get some more queens grafted. I'll get some more of these filled up, get some more queens on standby for us, and then maybe have enough to sell some. We'll see what happens. We're trying to get up to 100 hives. Since I retired, I usually keep in the neighborhood of 50, but seemed to work out pretty good when I was working. But the way I can tell how many bees I need, or how it works the best, as for me, if I don't have enough hives, I get into them way too much. I've got dates marked on these of the 28th. The sun out of my eyes. The 28th is the last time I checked it, and today's May 1st. So it hadn't been enough time to really check it. I will check the tops. We've got black locust in bloom and tulip poplar in bloom at the same time. We get them We got them actually some last year. We usually don't get them but about once every 5 years, so it's if it keeps up, it's gonna be a really good year. But these things have a way of equalizing themselves and getting back to kind of normal, and I'd imagine that's what's gonna happen this year too. Some hives already got one hive down there with 5 supers, and I would bet they're mostly full. I just don't know if they're kept. But we'll check the top. Getting into the top doesn't slow them down too much, but if you get into them too much, it'll really slow them down, and you have to be careful of that. Up there, if you can see it, there's black locust trees in bloom. I don't think I've got any tulip poplar. We've also got a lot of shake up there a little bit. There's some there. I'll show you these hives as we walk down there. I keep all my notes on top of the hives. There you can see I was on it 28th, which was Sunday. Today is Wednesday. Hadn't been enough time when I made the splits up. These hives have got 2 supers apiece. I got 1 nuke stacked up there to use kind of for resources if I need it. No eggs in that one. 4124. You can kind of tell. I put this one on the edge. This hive is booming. I try not to check them for a month, but this hive is really taking off. Like I say, today's May 1st, so May 6th would be the day to check it. Something needs to be done here. I'll do that this afternoon. Get them taken care of. You kind of just got to watch for the size on these nukes, and when you can kind of tell what you need to know about how many bees and how much you're building up. So that other one is ready for something to be done with. This one still needs a little bit, and it was 4-1, so they might not have a queen. They might not have got their queen mated. So we'll check that out a little later, and I'll probably go ahead and do something with that since it's been a month for them. We'll put them on another hive, or put a queen with them, or do something. This one 6 frames in the bottom, empty drawn cone above, check in a week, rotate over queen excluder. So since we got a super on the bottom, we're wanting them to move up into this deep, and once they get some brood in there, I don't care at this time of the year if they got brood in the super. I'm gonna put the deep on the bottom, put a queen excluder on the deep, and then put that super on top of that. And as that brood hatches out, they'll fill all that back in with honey, and I can start stacking it up with honey supers. But we're looking, this is what we've got. I told you I was gonna show you some bush honeysuckle. Got some of it there. But we've got basically 2, when you're running bees, you basically got 2 operations as far as I'm concerned. You got your nukes or your splits, that's next year's hives. And then you got your production. See if I can come out. You got your production hives, which got the honey supers all stacked up. Is your other operation, but they're managed in 2 different ways. You basically need to know how to run both of them to be successful in beekeeping. So that's what we're doing. We're building up for next year. We haven't sowed any nukes this year. We're building up. The bees are starting to come out a little more. I thought they would be a little more heavy than this. The stuff blooms at different times. Doesn't all bloom at the same time of the day. You can look on this bush honeysuckle and not see any. It might only, I say bloom at different times. It puts out nectar at different times. Might not see any bees on it. There's a bee over there. At certain hours of the day, and then it might put out nectar for 2 hours during the day, and then they might get something else. Where'd that bee go? So they are on it a little bit. Faster than I can keep up with them. But they only put out nectar for maybe a couple, 2 or 3 hours a day, some of them. depending on the plant. And then the rest of the day they're on something else. So they're getting a whole lot of things at the same time right now. Move you back out. But we've got our supers out here. We've got our stuff on pallets. And so I've got supers on this pallet. I've got deeps on that pallet. Very handy to get them ready down at the garage and I can bring them up here on the tractor. So a lot of stuff needs to go back in the shed. The feeder rings, don't need them no more. And then there you can see some of the activity up here in the bees. Starting to come out more and more. I was up here probably 30 minutes ago and they wasn't near this active, so they're really starting to come out. But this is production hives here. These were the hives I had on the trailer, and I took everything off the trailer and tried to leave the ones that were facing that direction here, and the ones that were facing the other direction I took over to Smithfield. And I messed up. I made a mistake, I believe, because the ones I took over there aren't doing near as good as these. And I'd seen a lot of people online and on YouTube moving bees during cold weather, and didn't close off the entrances or anything. I thought, well, if they're doing it, it must work. So I moved those bees while it was cold, and I think I chilled the brood. I've got a trailer that's the trailer that I had that I moved them on. It is not, the wheels are not balanced and it shakes, and I think I broke up the cluster and the brood got chilled, and now I'm suffering the consequences because they're not building up near fast enough. So it's May 1st right now. If they're not making honey and stacked up like these are, something's wrong, and you need to go through the hive and find out what's wrong. Another thing I noticed on these, I don't know why, but the one on your right, every single one of them is doing better. They're 2 to a pallet, and everyone on your right side is doing better than the one on the left side. And I have no idea. The left hives don't even have, well, there's one down there, 2 that's got honey supers. I'm not sure why the one on the left is doing, or not doing as good as the one on the right. But yeah, it's May 1st, so if they're not making honey now, it's time to combine, or if you want them to make honey, it's time to combine or find out what's going on. There's several of them I know that are fixing their own queen problems, and I've made notes on the lid to account for that or to show that, and I'm hoping they get that worked out and fix their own problems, so I'll give them some time. But other ones, some of them you just need to go through and find out what the heck's going on, and that'll be the process. I'll probably try to be doing that this evening when I get back. We're going to get some carpet for my dad, and then maybe when I get back from that, I'll start looking at some of these. That hive over there was a swarm. It was in that tree. I just put a sheet out in front of it, dropped them on the sheet, and they crawled in the hive, and they probably got all that full. I need to take either a late night or an early morning, probably early morning. Wife seems to like that better. And move some hives, and that's a hive that I'll probably move. I'll probably take it over to Smithfield. But this is what we're looking like out in the bee yard, just a kind of an overall view today. Kind of got a mess here I need to clean up. And like I say, basically 2 operations, a honey production operation and a nuke operation to increase our size for next year. I walk this yard at least try to at least once a day, and sometimes twice, 2 or 3 times a day, and just check out all these trees for swarms, because you never know, they'll swarm over here in those trees too. Back it off a little bit. So I try to check for swarms, make sure I get any swarms if I've got them. Haven't seen any over there. There's been some kind of off in the distance over in that way. but just trying to keep up with it and make sure that I collect all the swarms, any swarms that's out here. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at and what we're doing. Just expanding, trying to make money too, I guess, but make some honey, and we'll be getting into that pretty quick. I'll show you this here. I'm not sure what's going on this hive, but we'll check the top anyway. Zoom in. There's a lot of bees out front. There's many on this one and the others. So hopefully tomorrow's the last sunny day. These sunny days, you want them to collect as much nectar as possible. You try to leave them as much as you can, but some of these it's stacked up. That one there is stacked up. 1, 2, 3, 4 supers. Hopefully those bottom two, I think most of those are mostly full, but they're not. I don't know if they're capped or not. So if I can get a couple off that one and get some capped honey. There's another one there. And then some of these down here, some of those bottom ones hopefully are capped by now. So get some capped honey and get that in there and get started extracting, and then start supplying some of this honey that everybody's calling for. All right, so anyway, that's our little tour today. We're just on the cusp of extracting honey. We're excited about making this into a bee business. I've always wanted to have it. Just can't afford to quit a good job with benefits and everything. But now I can see what I can do as far as making a business out of it, or trying to increase the size of the operation. Again, you know, or I know how big I need to be by how often I check the hives. We're all excited about beekeeping, and if I'm wanting to check them every 2 or 3 days, I don't have enough hives. If I can get out to about 10 days and I'm comfortable with checking them and have enough time, then whatever number that is that I check them about every 10 days or so, then I know that's where I need to be at. You don't want to get so big. If you get too big and you can't check them when you need to and do what you need to do when you need to do it, then you'll make a lot more honey if you downsize. You could have 300 hives and not check them and make a lot more honey with 100 hives and be able to check them more often. So that's what we're shooting for. That's the goal. We're trying to build up slowly. We're buying stuff as we can afford it, and trying to not buy too much, spending too much at one time, and trying to pay off what we buy as we go. And so far we've been successful at that. So looking forward to see where it goes, how far we can go with it. There's more demand for honey than we could ever meet right now. I could have 10 times as much honey and still sell it all. So we'll see where it all works out, where it gets comfortable. Right now it's not up enough. I've got about 70 with nukes and everything right now, and like I say, I'm still too anxious to get in them before I should. So we'll see where that number works out at. Appreciate you watching. We'll try to keep you updated on where we're at, how we're doing, and I'll see you in the next video.